we need to now get to esters. Esters have got their own naming criteria. Is quite different from the standard that you are used to. So first of all, I will remind you what we already did, guys. We did a session on esters, and I told you guys that esters, the combination of alcohols and carboxylic acids. So basically, when we react an alcohol and a carboxylic acid in some hot sulfuric acid, using the hot sulfuric acid as a catalyst, we actually form an ester. So whenever we want to form an ester, we need to combine what? We need to combine a primary alcohol, specifically a primary alcohol, not any other type of alcohol. We are combining this primary alcohol with the what? With a carboxylic acid. Okay, so we already did this, but I want to refresh your mind on how to combine this. Let's say now I want to combine 1-propanol with propanoic acid. So do you see that 1-propanol is an alcohol? Do you guys agree to that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so 1-propanol is an alcohol and propanoic acid is a carboxylic acid. By now you guys should now know what an alcohol ends with the name OL at the end, this OL. Then for the carboxylic acids, they end with the anoic acid. So essentially this is a combination of 1-propanol with propanoic acid. So here, if we were to write the structural formulas of these reagents, if we take an alcohol which is known as 1-propanol, how many carbons is it going to have? Let's say we want to write a structural formula, this alcohol.
Yes, sir.
3 of them, right? It's going to be
3.
a primary alcohol having 3 carbons, and on the first carbon we must have the OH group, and then the rest must be hydrogens. So you guys can see that this is the structure of 1-propanol. This is 1-propanol, or this is propan 1-ol. It's a primary alcohol, and you guys can all see that it's a primary alcohol because the carbon that is bonded to the OH group is bonded to one other carbon, which is this one here, carbon number 2. So basically this is a primary alcohol. So if I take this primary alcohol and I combine it with this carboxylic acid, which is our propanoic acid, I'm going to write my acid in reverse and say that this is H, this is O, this is C, this is double bond O. Propanoic acid has got how many carbons in it?
Yeah, 3, sir.
There are 3 as well. Yes, there are 3 as well. So this is propanoic acid. Who doesn't see that this is propanoic acid, guys? Does anyone not see that this is propanoic acid? Okay, it looks like people do see, because I told you guys that for a carboxylic acid, we have got a carboxyl group. That is a carbon, double bond oxygen, bonded to an O and an H, as well as a carbon chain there. So basically here we're having, this is the OH that we're talking about. Then this is the carbon bonded to the double bond oxygen. So this is your carboxyl group. So this is your carboxylic acid. Do you guys see that this is a carboxylic acid?
Yes.
Okay. So with this carboxylic acid at hand, which is our propanoic acid, we are combining it with propanol. Last time, to those who attended the session, when we talked about the combination of alcohol and carboxylic acid to give us an ester, how did we say that happens? I explained to you guys, how did you say it happened?
Sir,
Yes.
you said the H from the alcohol is gonna react with the OH from the carboxylic acid.
So the H from the alcohol will react with the OH from the carboxylic acid. Yes, to keep it simple. Okay. So here, when they react, what do you see? What do you think we'll get when they react?
Water, sir.
We'll get water, right? So basically, let's say the H, but sometimes it can change. Did I say the H from the carboxylic acid, or did I say the H from the alcohol? Which one reacts with the other?
You said from the alcohol, sir.
Alcohol, sir.
Okay, it's fine. But basically, yeah, in actual fact, it is, but it's fine. You won't be sure, you won't be asked to show the mechanism. I'm just showing you so that you understand a bit. But in actual fact, the H from the carboxylic acid is the one that reacts with the OH from the alcohol. But it doesn't affect anything according to what I taught last time. That's how it happens in actual reality or in actual life. So the H and the OH, they react with one another, and that gives us what? H2O. So basically, we know that in our products we must have what? We must have H2O. So when these react with one another, we kind of count them off. We pretend that they are no longer there because they've reacted. This OH from the alcohol and this H from the carboxylic acid, they've reacted with one another to form H2O. So what will happen now? This carbon from the alcohol, I'm sure it's left alone, like with no bond, because we have removed this OH. I'm sure, guys, this OH is reacting with the H, right? So basically, they are making some water, leaving this carbon from the alcohol with no bonds. Do you guys realize it? So what will happen? This carbon, it will attach itself. This carbon will attach itself to this oxygen there. So this carbon will attach itself to this oxygen. Or you can say this oxygen will attach itself to that carbon. Anyhow. Okay. But you guys are still in grade 12. You guys are not doing reaction mechanism yet. But basically, the OH and the H, they combine to form H2O. And then the O and the C, this O here from the carboxylic acid, it will combine with the C here after removing these two. So essentially, that will give me what? That will give me something like H, C, H, H. And then this is going to be C, H, H. And then this is going to be C, H. So this is still the alcohol part. But now, remember, guys, that we said that this carbon, it will now be attached to the oxygen, right? We remove this OH because this OH reacts with the H to make some water. So basically, if we remove it, it means that this carbon will now be bonded to the oxygen. Do you guys see the oxygen that I'm referring to? The one on the carboxylic acid? This one.
Yes, sir.
And then after that, we've got a carbon, double bond oxygen, and then this is a carbon bonded to hydrogen, then another carbon, the terminal one, bonded to 3 hydrogens. Here we go. So basically what happened here, first thing that happened, the H from the carboxylic acid, it reacted with the OH from the alcohol, and then they formed H2O, which is our water. Water is an inorganic product. This product that is known as water is what? It is inorganic because it doesn't consist of any carbon in it. So this is an inorganic product that is formed during this reaction between an alcohol and a carboxylic acid. So after this OH and this H, they reacted, they formed an inorganic product, which is some water. Basically, this carbon that is left here alone, it will react with what? With this oxygen from the other side. And then that would definitely give you an ester. If you guys can see properly, this is the functional group of an ester. You have got a carbon that is bonded to an oxygen, that is bonded to a carbon double bond oxygen. This one. That's how we identify an ester. So an ester simply has got what? An ester simply has got like the functional group COOC, because we've got a carbon bonded to an oxygen, and then that oxygen is bonded to another carbon, and that carbon is double bonded to an oxygen. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is our ester. So I want you guys to know how to split your ester, or to divide your ester into an alcohol part and a carboxylic acid part. So I will just rewrite the structural formula of my ester again and say that this is my ester again. Is anyone confused, guys, on how we find the final structure of the ester here, this connection and this link? Is anyone confused before we proceed? Yes, Sam.
So, sir, should we name it after Norma?
We're still going to name it. I want you guys to know how to identify the alcohol part and the carboxylic acid part. So,
Okay, sir.
H, and H. So this is our ester. So guys, an ester, since I said, is made up of a carboxylic acid and an alcohol. So it means that it has got a part that is coming from an alcohol, then a part that is coming from a what? From a carboxylic acid. All right. And all of those parts, they are separated by this oxygen. So you just treat your oxygen as a border, or it's a boundary. So your oxygen is a what? Is a boundary. You just treat it as a boundary. Okay. So on one side, you have got an alcohol part. How do you see the alcohol part? The alcohol part is just an alkyl chain. So this is just a what? An alkyl chain. You guys see that this is an alkyl chain, because you only have got like carbon and nitrogen only. And remember, guys, an alkyl chain, it has got carbons and hydrogens and hydrogens. For example, this is a methyl group. It's an alkyl chain. This one is a propyl because it's having 1, 2, 3 carbons. But don't worry, we're gonna get to the naming propyl. I just want you guys to see that this side is the alcohol part. So this side is coming from the what? From the alcohol. And then on the other side, you've got the carboxylic acid part. So this other side is known as the carboxylic acid part. This is the carboxylic acid part. But all together, this is known as an ester. Now, what is the difference? Let's say you guys are just given this ester, and you are not told which alcohols are forming it. This is just the ester provided. And now I ask you guys, which alcohol is responsible for forming this ester? What are you going to look at? You look at the alcohol side. How do you see the alcohol side? It's just carbons and hydrogens, and they are all having single bonds. We don't have any double bonds. You first put your boundary, which is your oxygen, Anish. The boundary is the oxygen. It separates the alcohol part as well as the carboxylic acid part. So after separating the alcohol and the carboxylic acid part, how do you really see, or how do you identify which one is the alcohol part? The alcohol part is just an alkyl chain consisting of carbons and hydrogen only. So this is just carbons and hydrogen, carbons and hydrogen. So this part that is just having carbons and hydrogen alone is a what? Is coming from an alcohol. But the part that has got a carbon double bond oxygen, this part that has got a carbon double bond oxygen, it is coming from a what? From a carboxylic acid part. So this is the carboxylic acid part. You guys can confirm that by looking at this reaction that we have. If you look properly, guys, this was a carboxylic acid before this whole reaction took place. This was propanoic acid. Do you guys realize that? This was propanoic acid, this compound. Are you guys saying that? Yes, it was propanoic acid, and it had a carbon double bond oxygen. It had a carbon double bond oxygen, right? So basically, even on your ester, the part that has got a carbon double bond oxygen, that part is coming from the carboxylic acid, because we know that initially it was the carboxylic acid. Okay, so the part that the carboxylic acid part, you're gonna see it by seeing this carbon double bond oxygen. So once you see carbon double bond oxygen on that part, that is a carboxylic acid part, no matter what. But both these parts, the alcohol and the carboxylic acid, they are separated by a boundary, which is the oxygen. Is anyone not able to identify the alcohol part and the carboxylic acid part? Is anyone else gonna have a problem?
So far, no, sir.
Okay, let's just try one more example. Let's combine butan-1-ol with ethanoic acid. So I will start by writing my formula for ethanoic acid. You guys already know how to write the formula for acetic acid, right? For ethanoic acid, I mean. This is the formula, the structural formula for ethanoic acid. And then, yes, Bandisile?
So before we move, how do we name that ester?
We are still going to the naming. I want you guys to just get used to the identifying the alcohol and the carboxylic acid part, so that you guys can be able to name it. Don't worry, it will be very easy. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is my carboxylic acid, which is ethanoic acid, because they said I'm combining ethanoic acid with butan-1-ol, or this is 1-butanol. All of them, they must be primary alcohols that we are using. So I will take my butan-1-ol and write it in this way, so that this OH starts and we have a link like this. So do you guys notice that this is a really butan-1-ol? Is it the correct structural formula for butan-1-ol, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is an alcohol, guys. Please don't get confused if I write the HO first. This is an OH group, it's a hydroxyl group. Yes, Sam?
So, sir, ukuthi ngidweba kanjani, it doesn't matter as long phela izohlala kahle, sir.
Yes, but here for this one, we drew them so that this OH and this, so that the OH and the H can link. That is why we drew it in kind of in reverse, but as long as it's still the same thing, it's like a mirror image. So that this H and this OH can link up with one another.
Okay,
But
sir.
this is just butan-1-ol. This is just your butan-1-ol or your 1-butanol. So now what will happen here, guys? Same thing will happen again. So the H from the carboxylic acid will link up with the OH from the alcohol. So the H from the carboxylic acid will link up with the OH from the alcohol. These two will link up. So when they link up, what will happen? They link up between OH and H, the OH from the carboxylic acid and the H from the alcohol. The OH from the alcohol, Jan, and the H from the carboxylic acid. What are we gonna get from their link?
We're getting water, sir.
We're getting water, right? So that's gonna be H2O. So that's gonna be our inorganic product. Always the inorganic product is always H2O at the end. Now we are going for a 10 minutes break. I want you guys, when you come back, you must give me the full ester. Write the structural formula of the full ester formed when we react ethanoic acid with butan-1-ol. When we react ethanoic acid with butan-1-ol, write down the full ester that is formed. So let's go for a 10 minutes break. We'll come back. Hey Lapo, I know that you've been enjoying this wonderful video and most likely you've been enjoying watching this handsome face in front of you, but sorry ladies, I'm taken. I just here to tell you that Educate is on the road to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. So please click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you get notifications whenever I post new videos. I want you guys to pass. Okay, so if you make my dream true, I reach 100k subscribers, I will make your dreams come true. I will even get you to varsity. I will get you with 7 distinctions. Yes. Okay guys, the task that I gave you was to write the structural formula of the ester, the resultant ester that we're gonna have here when we combine ethanoic acid with butan 1-ol. What is the ester going to look like? Just give me the basic idea of the structural formula. Yes, Bandisile.
I'm going to draw 4 carbon atoms.
4 carbon atoms. Why don't you start with the 2? Are you scared to start with the 2 alone?
No, I did it better there. Okay, it's fine. 2 carbon atoms,
Yes.
then an O.
Or here.
I was just naming the long chain. I'll still go back to it. But you can
Alright.
still add the O there. Yeah.
Yes.
Then another 4 carbon atoms that have single bonds.
4 carbons having single bonds.
Then add the O. The H on the carbons. Each carbon must have 4 hydrogens.
Yes. So each carbon must have 4 bonds in total, not 4 hydrogens, 4 bonds in total. Nako here. Are you guys having problems with constructing the ester from the alcohol and the carboxylic acid? I think this is now quite easier. You just take these out because these ones, the H from the carboxylic acid and the OH from the alcohol, they react to be able to produce some water. So essentially what will happen there, this oxygen that is remaining alone ngalena on the carboxylic acid, it will go and bind with that carbon that is alone on the alcohol. So this will end up giving us something like this, because remember at first here we had 2 carbons. This is the first carbon with 3 hydrogens. Then the next carbon is this one that is double bonded to an oxygen. This is the carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen. Then in between we're gonna have this oxygen. It is this oxygen here. Do you guys see this oxygen from the carboxylic acid?
Yes.
This one. And then we're gonna connect this oxygen all the way to this carbon, terminal carbon of the alcohol. So this is your terminal carbon of the alcohol, and then there are 4 of them indeed, so you're just gonna make them 4 here and you complete the structural formula. So I'm now sure that you guys are not confused on how to write the structural formula from this. All right, so with that in mind, now I'm going to try and find my my alcohol side as well as my carboxylic acid side. So I've got this is the left hand side here, this is the right hand side. So between the left and the right hand side, which one is which one will give the side for the for the alcohol?
The right hand side.
Yes,
Right.
so the right hand side, it is the alcohol part. So in this ester, the right hand side, it is the alcohol part, the right hand side of this boundary oxygen. And then what about the left hand side? What is it?
Carboxylic.
Yes, so this is the carboxylic acid. Yes, the carboxylic acid part, because it is this part that came from the carboxylic acid having 2 carbons, because this carboxylic acid of ours was having 2 carbons and the next carbon was having a double bond oxygen. So this side that has got a carbon double bond oxygen is the carboxylic acid part of this ester of ours. Okay, so if you guys are now able to identify that, it's easier to name, because basically when you are naming esters, you name the alcohol, but you name it as a what? You name it as an alkyl group. So basically your alcohol part, you name it as an alkyl group. You name it first. Then after that, you name the carboxylic acid part. And then after that, at the end of the name, the suffix must be OAT. OAT or OATE. It's like OAT. That's the suffix for esters. So first thing that you do, for example, this is ester A. You just take your roller or whatever, you put a boundary here on the oxygen. You guys will now tell me between the left hand side of this compound A and the right hand side, which one is the part for the alcohol?
The right hand side.
Yes, the right hand side is the alcohol part. So this is the alcohol part. So it means the left hand side, the one with the carbon double bond oxygen, the one that's found on the left, it is my carboxylic acid part. So this is gonna be my carboxylic acid part. So if I may ask guys, this ester was formed with an alcohol with how many carbons? How many carbons were in that alcohol?
One.
It was only one, guys. You just look at the carbon that we have here on the alcohol part. It's only one. Okay, so this was methanol. This was actually methanol. The alcohol was methanol before you reacted with the carboxylic acid to form an ester. So this was just methanol. So now when you name the alcohol, you don't name it completely as an alcohol. You name it as a what? As an alkyl group. It means that at the end of the name, you must put an "-yl". So the alcohol part, it is having one carbon. So instead of saying methanol, you're gonna say this is a methyl. It is the same thing as the methyl group that you've been learning, guys. Remember, the methyl group is just a carbon that is bonded to 3 hydrogens. This is a methyl group. But for the sake of esters, whenever we have got the carbon having 3 hydrogens and it is found on the left or on the right hand side or on the alcohol side of this oxygen, that is going to be a methyl. So instead of writing methanol for this alcohol, we're gonna say it's a what? It's a methyl. And then now we go to the carboxylic acid part. This carboxylic acid that formed this ester, how many carbons did it have?
2.
2 of them, right? You look at the carboxylic acid part, this side that is for carboxylic acid, it has got 1, 2. So there are 2 of them. So if we're having 2, we know that the carboxylic acid that formed this compound, it was ethanoic acid. You guys already know that 2 is ethanoic acid, right? So basically here, the carboxylic acid that we had, the one that formed this ester, it is ethanoic acid. So when I'm going to name this, I'm not going to write ethanoic acid completely. I'm going to write it as ethanoate. So at the end, I will write the suffix oate. Ethanoate. So the name for this ester is methyl ethanoate. So you name the alcohol as the alcohol part as an alkyl group. Then you name the remaining part, which is the carboxylic acid part, but the suffix that you're gonna put is an oate. So this is methyl ethanoate. If we go back, just to go back to the compounds that we had, for example, this compound was formed from the carboxylic acid, which was ethanoic acid, right? And then we combined it with butan-1-ol. So this is our ester that we have at the end. If we want to name it, we go and look at our alcohol. This is our alcohol. Our alcohol is butan-1-ol, right? You can even identify that, guys, just from the ester itself without looking at the alcohol and the carboxylic acid. From the ester itself, the alcohol part, because the ester, remember guys, it has got an alcohol part and a carboxylic acid part. So the alcohol part of the ester is having 1, 2, 3 and 4 carbons. So we know that this is actually coming from a primary alcohol having 4 carbons. Do you guys see, or do you guys all see that?
Yes.
So instead of writing butanol, I'm going to write this as butyl, because remember we said that we name our alcohol as an alkyl chain. So basically, for our alcohol, what do? We put a YL as the suffix for the alcohol. So we write butyl. It's a butyl chain. Then you go to the other side, which is the carboxylic acid side. How many carbons are we having here on the carboxylic acid part?
2.
2. So it's like 1 and this is 2. So we're having 2 carbons on the carboxylic acid part. So that is ethan. But at the end, we don't put the ethanoic acid as if this is still a carboxylic acid. Guys, this is no longer a carboxylic acid. This is just a carboxylic acid part of an ester. It is no longer a complete carboxylic acid like it was before, due to this reaction that has happened with the alcohol. So instead of writing ethanoic acid, you're going to say this is ethanoate. So at the end of the day, at the end of the line, you put OATE. This is OATE. So basically the suffix is always something like anoate. So this is butyl ethanoate. Go ahead and name the first one that we did. This ester. What is the name of this ester?
Gonna be propyl propanoate.
Propanoate. So it's gonna be propyl propanoate. We just look, guys, at the alcohol part or the carboxy. We look at the alcohol part. The alcohol part is the one that will make your alkyl group. It's like an alkyl group. It's no longer an alcohol, guys. Once it is inside the ester, it's no longer an alcohol. It's just the alcohol part, or the alcohol part of the ester. Is no longer a complete alcohol. You wouldn't isolate this and say this is an alcohol, now I'm going to drink it. No, it's no longer the same alcohol. It's just that it is now an alkyl chain. We just refer to it as an alkyl chain. So this alcohol part of the ester is having 1, 2, 3 carbons in it. So since it's having 3 carbons in it, that must be a prop, right? But instead of writing propanol, we're gonna write propyl. So at the end of the day, we're gonna put in a YL to show that this alcohol, we are treating it as an alkyl group. And then you go to the carboxylic acid part. The carboxylic acid part has got 1, 2, 3 carbons. So that's also another prop for the carboxylic acid part. But because this is an ester, the last part of the name must end with this anoate, right? Propanoate. Guys, remember the AN, that AN, what does it mean? Does it ever change its meaning, that AN?
No, sir.
No, it never changes its meaning. This AN still means that this compound is a saturated compound. So this is still meaning the same thing as we have done with the other homologous acids. This is a saturated organic compound. It means that there are only single bonds between the carbon atoms. So the carbon atoms are only separated by single bonds between them. Okay. Yes, Bandisile.
So, sir, in simple words, it means that in esters, the carboxylic acid is our longest chain, then the alcohol is the branch.
Yes. So basically, in simple terms, we can just say that our carboxylic acid is more like our main chain, and then the alcohol is more like the branch. That's why we treat it more like as a methyl. Yeah, we can just model it in that way in our minds to make it easier for us to remember. Okay, so let's name B, guys. Give me the name of B. I'm no longer gonna do analysis one by one because now I think you guys can see this. Give me the name of compound B. Yes, Bandisile.
It's propyl ethanoate.
Yes, it's propyl ethanoate. It's the same thing as we just did right now. propyl ethanoate. So just from the name, guys, you guys must be able to identify the alcohol and the carboxylic acid. This propyl, this means that this was the alcohol part. So it means the alcohol that formed this compound B. What is the alcohol that formed compound B? What is the name of the alcohol? Just from the name propyl there, what is the name of the alcohol that formed this compound B?
Propanol.
Propan-1-ol. Yes, propan-1-ol, because it's a primary alcohol. So propan-1-ol was the alcohol that formed this. Okay, and then this ethanoate, this ethan, what does it tell us? What is the carboxylic acid that formed this ester? Ethanoic acid, exactly. What about C? You guys keep on naming them in that way. What about C? What is the name of C?
Methyl propanoate.
Methyl propanoate. Do you guys all get the same thing?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. It's methyl propanoate, because you guys can see that this is our oxygen, which is our boundary. On one side we have got just a carbon having 3 hydrogens, so that's our alcohol part. So this was like an alcohol having 1 carbon. What is the name of the alcohol that made this ester C?
Propan-1-ol.
What?
The alcohol.
The alcohol that made this ester.
Methanol.
Methanol. Yes, so the alcohol is methanol. What about the side for the carboxylic acid part? It is having 3 carbons. You guys can see it's 1, 2, 3 carbons. So this is your carboxylic acid part. Now my question is, what is the name of the carboxylic acid that made this ester?
Propanoic acid, sir.
Propanoic acid. So it means that this is coming from propanoic acid. So this was a combination of propanoic acid with methanol to give us methyl propanoate. What about D? What is it? What is D going to be?
So D is gonna be methyl methanoate.
Methyl methanoate. Do you guys all see that?
Yes.
Yes, so this is methyl methanoate. So we are having the alcohol part as a methyl, meaning that it's just an alcohol having 1 carbon. It's coming from methanol. I think by now we know that, right? And then the methanoate part, we know that is coming from the carboxylic acid part. So it means that you've got like a carboxylic acid having 1 carbon. That's methanoic acid. Yes, ASM.
So we don't combine amagama in, sir. We separate
No.
them.
Yes, you must put a space between them. Don't put anything like a dash or something, just a space.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So here's an Excel for you guys. I think also you can do this and you guys will give me the solutions over time. But when you come back, we are doing isomers and we are introducing the physical properties. Yeah, the physical properties of organic compounds, such as boiling point, melting point, vapor pressure, whatnot. All of those are physical properties. But this is an exercise for you guys to do based on the naming of esters. You give the IUPAC name for each of the following esters. You state the 2 organic compounds that have been reacted or that have been combined to form the ester. So you do that for A to D. Then after that, you write the structural formula for each of the following. So this will be your homework, and then I'll put it on the group. Are you guys good?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, without further ado, guys, let us close please with a prayer. I'm sure we are all sleepy right now. Let's close with a prayer so that we can go and rest and prepare for tomorrow's day. You closing prayer, guys. Why are you closing prayer?
No, I'm not sure, but try to be able to find you can close your eyes.